Good morning and welcome to the Woke Yolk.
For those of you who are joining us for the very first time, we are so glad to have you in our podcast. The Woke Yolk is a morning talk show that peruses existential thoughts and literary analysis.
Yes, since breakfast is the most important meal of the day, together we shall digest current news, media, events, happenings, and anything under the sunny side egg. Best taken with coffee, bacon, and toast, of course.
Further ado, I am your host Diane.
I'm Erica,
And I'm Gabby, and
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 together
together
we
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 are
are
are the
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 three
three
three woke
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 Yolks.
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 Okay, guys.
So, we have a very special episode today and it is called Spies, Lies, and Family Ties.
But no, guys.
That's right, no guys. Rise and shine, fellow egg yolks, because in this episode, we stand for gender empowerment and human rights. Stay woke with us as we unpack the never before seen feminist side of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
So, for a bit of a context or a backstory, if you have been following the Marvel series, Black Widow, the movie reveals what the title heroine's been up to between Captain America Civil War and Avengers Endgame. The Black Widow, also named as Natasha Romanoff, played by Scarlett Johansson, takes down Dreykov, the leader of the Red Room, and his villainous Russian organization that brainwashed her at a young age. Natasha also reunites with her makeshift family, notably her sister Yelena, played Pug or Poe, who constantly taunts Natasha for being an Avenger, but deep down needs her sister in many ways.
Alright, so let's get to it. Right off the bat, we can all agree that this is the first time for us seeing a female lead in a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. But how exactly are the female characters portrayed in Black Widow?
Okay, so actually, I've been thinking about how skilled the women are in the Black Widow movie. So, first off, Natasha being called the Black Widow herself, she must have been exceptional. So, must have
Yeah,
been why she was chosen to become part of the Avengers as well, right?
yeah. You can actually just see how her performance was, right? Like she was really awesome woman. It goes to show how strong she is.
Well,
Like her being the Black Widow herself, being able to experience the extensive training, I could see how trained they are to kill. So they were actually using weapons, and if Yelena didn't state how she wanted to choose, it might have become quite deadly, I suppose.
From when you watch the movie, when they were still a child, they were already brought to the Red Room. Oh no, the Red Room, they really train women to be deadly assassins, to assassinate people talaga. And you can really see that they don't show mercy.
did you notice how Scarlett Johansson, who plays the Black Widow, she is portrayed to be a radical female who does not conform to gender stereotypes?
Yeah.
I could see the baggy clothes and shorts and the large t-shirts. See, she also had a sports blue hair, right?
Yeah, exactly. It really goes to show how she has a tough personality and she's not afraid to speak her mind. She even engages in
Yeah.
physical combat. She can fight and she maneuvers a gun.
Do you remember the time where she fought like a really big machine? Like her enemy, like she didn't know before that it was a girl, but for us we thought it was like a man, or like it was a
Oh,
robot. Yeah, robot. And then like she was like, just okay, I that's a machine, but I think I can take it on. Like her bravery, you can really see her bravery.
I could actually see so that robot Antonia, and she was the
Yeah.
daughter of Jacob, who then Jacob turned into a robot and even
Mm.
controlled his daughter himself. So
Yeah, that's really
um
awful.
yeah, so seeing Antonia, that strong and actually can mimic any strength of the Avengers themselves,
Yeah.
it's quite mind blowing, to be honest.
But
Yeah,
I think like the movements, all the movements of the Avengers, like how strong their physical combat, Atonia can really copy that.
it's really nice to see how women are portrayed to be strong both physically and mentally.
Yeah.
So, but I did notice like during the film they talked about how the women were sterilized. This kind of goes against the notion that women can are strong and can do everything. Like it's kind of hinting at that career-oriented women cannot have children and that mothers cannot have careers. Like what did you think of this?
Yeah. Actually, for me, okay, you can go.
Oh, you can go first.
Okay, okay. So like for me, it's really awful because it's like it's part of the women. Like, it's part of us. Like we are designed to carry a child that's taken away from us, and it, a choice was taken away from. We can't do anything about it now because wala. If you want our if you want your reproductive organs back, you can. Yeah, I think you can get it transplants, but it's not the same.
What do you think, Diane?
Mm.
I think that the only the only choice she has was to adopt, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
that's the only
And
choice.
um, them, the widows, having their reproductive systems, it's their freedom. And yeah, as you said it, they were taken away just because the widows were made as weapons. They were manipulated by Jacob, right?
Yeah, and that's the sad part because they didn't want to be made as weapons. They weren't able to make a choice for themselves because they were just taken away. They
I
were
mean,
just
yeah,
brought to the red room. Mhm.
Yeah,
so
they
I
were
agree
controlled
that
with.
the reasoning I do agree that the reasoning implies that women's career and family are mutually exclusive, but it gives the wrong
Mm.
assumption that women cannot handle the pressure of their careers and families at the same time. And the fact that the widows are sterilized against their will should be questioned on an ethical standpoint.
Yeah, I agree. I really
Yeah.
agree.
Um, I could give a personal explanation to this too. So my mom wasn't seen as the feminine side. They expected her to
Yeah,
become just some. She's not the leader, something
yeah,
like that. So the course that my mom took was medical technology, and she just wanted a simple life, and she actually was gonna go abroad, but instead she um she took the responsibilities that my grandmother passed onto her, and she had to become a businesswoman instead now. And well, now she has more than what she expected to have, and we're we're better off, something else. And
yeah,
so my mother, they proved the other people that she's something more than what they expected her to
mm-mm.
be. You know.
Yeah.
So
That's a
what do
really
you
sad
think?
story.
And that's an
Yeah.
interesting point that you bring up there.
Yes.
I mean, like, discrimination. I mean, like, for it's like it's so toxic,
Oh yes.
diba?
Um.
Like, you can all agree, right?
Yeah. But there's this one guy in the Black Widow movie, Natasha's friend, who I think was sweet, and he was just super.
Yeah, yeah, like everything
Yes.
Black
So
Widow needs, he gives.
yeah. So I think that he supports. And I thought that this movie showed that men can also just be a support and not a fighter, and women can also be a
True.
fighter and not just a support, you know?
I
I,
agree with that.
it's yeah,
So,
true. Because
yeah, not,
like it's parang it's a thing that usually they see men as the one who leads and the women only supports. Like that's the thing palagi, and like it can actually be the opposite. Like women can do that too. Me,
yeah,
women can lead. Women can be
can be so much more, you know?
can,
Yeah.
mm,
Yeah, not like the
parang they're
Red Guardian
limiting.
who had issues being a father. Yeah,
Yeah.
they, until now. Do you remember the Red Guardian who was indeed strong, but he didn't know how to become a father? But in the end,
Yeah.
he was sweet after the movie. Yeah,
In the end, I think he was able to realize that he really loved both Natasha and
yes,
Yelena. Like, there's
yeah, that,
a special place in his heart for the both of them.
yeah, that it's not all fake and just a job, right?
Yeah.
But what
Mm-hmm.
about
Yeah,
Dreykov? Don't you think he's so misogynistic?
I think so too. Her,
I
just
can't
too
even
much.
describe the actions that he did. Like, it was so awful. Like, come on. Like, he can do better. But well, he was the villain, so.
Yeah, he's the villain. He took advantage of women and made them as weapons.
Mm.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
well,
saddest part. Because
yeah,
it really shows how men like are controlling women for their benefits. Like it's just so it's awful.
I was so sad when I saw Natasha and Yelena being shipped off as Sprite, when they were younger, and then they were just taken away by soldiers after.
Yeah, and they were so confused, and they actually haven't after that event they didn't see or saw each other for years.
Yeah, I think maybe that's because of how Jacob was controlling them, that maybe they weren't able to remember anything about their past
Yeah,
anymore.
But
that's
you know
why.
what? There's a silver lining in this too, in that even though that these children or these girls were taken away and shipped off as right, as you said, they were able to shine through with their individuality and free will. And we really see this as Natasha sets out to find her personal freedom in the liberation of the other widows.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, through the course of the movie, Natasha and her sister Yelena, they made it really their mission to save the brainwashed widows and
Yeah,
deliver them.
it was really Natasha's idea to because she wants to free the other widows. Like she really cares for them because she knows that to be treated like weapons because they're people. They have their own lives and they're being treated like weapons, and that's like one of the worst or possible things to treat someone who's alive.
Yes, and
Yeah,
Yelena and Natasha, by saving the widows and Dracov's own daughter Antonia from his control, like this highlights the importance of individuality and free will.
Yeah.
So after they have been freed from the brainwashing, one of the widows asked Natasha what they should do next, and she just replied, you could do whatever you want, but just get as far away as possible from Dracov and the Red Room.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
we have to
Yeah.
remember that most of these women, they've lived almost their entire lives under Dracov's control.
Yeah.
yeah. I
And they were
I
not
with
able
that,
to like make decisions for themselves. Like they were just they were in control by
yeah.
Drake.
There's
With
even
that scene, I saw Natasha's empathetic side, where the part
Mm.
where she was fighting, the girl was hurrying to catch up with Yelena and Natasha, but then she fell down the building. Natasha wanted to save her, but she didn't know what to do. But and then after, the girl just exploded, right? And she
yeah,
felt bad after that.
yeah.
Yeah, with of tablet, she died. So it was kind of
Yeah.
depressing
Yeah.
to die
Like
with
a
mission.
simple, another like simple example. Do you remember the part of the movie where Yelena was so proud that she bought her very first item of clothing?
Yes,
Yeah, because
she was so cute
yeah,
though.
Exactly, just that
jacket was
simple,
really cute too.
right? That
Uh,
simple act of buying her own vest for herself, like that's so freeing, and
yeah,
I was so happy for her there.
I think she
yeah,
saved that money herself too, right?
That's
yeah, she
true.
did.
It was rewarding. Her smile was just just so nice.
Yeah,
So beyond the surface, I think the movie is really about sisterhood. Like you see the relationship between Yelena and Natasha.
Yes.
yeah.
I
Like
mean,
to
even
even
though
think
they're not
about like
biological,
yeah, they're not biological, and that's like one of the most amazing things because like even though we're not like family by blood, we can be family just like
by like
it's like
by bonding.
mm, yeah, by bonding.
Yeah. Sisterhood with also the other widows after the movie, right? And even her
Yeah,
mother, even her mother who adopted her. I thought that the mother was going to backstab Natasha, but then it was actually a plan
yeah, because I
instead.
we really thought that they she didn't care for them at all.
Yeah, it was actually cool, to
Mm.
even see
The
them
plot
fighting
twist, yeah,
together.
I actually didn't expect that part. Like I thought she really betrayed Natasha and Yelena.
And also the part where Natasha turned, I mean, her mother turned to Natasha's face. The fight scene with Jacob.
Yeah.
Where, yeah, it was fun. I actually like that scene because he was she was just
Took advantage.
yeah, took advantage of Jacob after.
Mm.
apart
Because
from sisterhood,
because okay, go. You can.
apart from sisterhood, I think another important symbol or theme in this movie was about family.
Oh yeah, I can really see that.
I
Like you can also see how Natasha valued family.
Yeah, she really valued, especially Yelena. She valued the
Yeah.
family. It was so sad that when I saw her think that it was fake, that part. It was
She was
heartbreaking, her she was
it broke her.
crying at that part.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
there
mean,
was an internal conflict evident throughout the whole movie where Natasha struggles to realize who her family is. Like, she was so lost. She was always looking for her family. She wanted to find her biological mother. She was born in the USSR and she was orphaned as a child, and she really couldn't find her sense of belongingness.
That's the really
that's
sad
the part.
part because she knew when she was already a young adult. She was already an adult, and like that's when she knew that she was actually orphaned. Like her her family is not even real. Her mom's dead. Like like
Yeah,
wow, I can't even like I don't know how she did it. How she was able to fight it.
I I like the part where her Natasha was something exactly like her mom, that she was always looking for answers and
Mm,
was feared by Jacob, right?
yeah.
Imagine Jacob being scared of a mother.
I mean, at the start of the movie, Natasha tells her friend Mason that she works better alone, but by the end of the film, she learns that she actually doesn't. Her deepest
Yeah.
desire was to belong to a family. And as she explains to Yelena, like, she eventually realizes although she doesn't have a biological family, she actually has two families that she's willing to sacrifice her life for. Like, this is her makeshift Russian family and the Avengers.
That's a W. That's a win. Have two families instead of one, and you had two families to lean on and just be with, have memories with, right?
Yeah, and this speaks to everyone. It's on a universal level. Like, according to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, a person's needs to achieve a sense of belonging and love before he or she can achieve a higher sense of
Yeah, that's true.
self-esteem and
Mm.
self-actualization.
Wow.
So, because Natasha was able to realize that she is indeed loved and belongs to a family, she got one step closer to realizing her higher self esteem and self actualization.
That's true.
That's true. It's actually nice that you still know about this, the Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Well, so what did you think of the movie?
um, Overall, it was it has a lot of lessons, and it showcases some of women's experiences in in their daily lives. How-
For me, like I can really see how Marvel like wanted to relay a message that because we all know that in the Avengers Endgame, Black Widow died, sacrificing her own life to save millions, billions of people. And they made a movie especially just for her, so that we're, we can know her more, like as a person, like what she did before, like what's her life, like before did that, like they valued her, and that I think that's really beautiful.
Yeah, and apart from the usual themes of Marvel Cinematic Universe movies that focus on finding strength in numbers, the importance of family and friends, and individuality, I like how
Mm.
the Black Widow movie adds another dimension to this, such as highlighting the value of sisterhood and proving that girls
Yeah.
aren't just eye candy to the main lead.
Yep.
yeah.
They can be the main lead.
Like
So
before, if I were to ask you, who's your favorite Avenger or who's your favorite character in the
Natasha.
movie?
me would answer Tony Stark.
I think if I didn't know about Black Widow, I would have said like, oh, Mary Jane in Spider-Man or Pepper Potts
Yeah,
in Iron
Or
Man.
Gwen Stacy.
I
Exactly.
actually didn't like Black Widow at first, but then because of this movie, I think I like her now. She's
Yeah,
strong,
right?
really. She's skilled as
Mm.
well.
I mean, she really shows that strong female characters can exist.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes,
And
agree as
she really
well.
showed how women are really strong. Like we have that fighting spirit. We know that we could do more, and she really showed it in the movie.
Yeah, she showed it well.
Mm-hmm. She
Mm.
did.
She was fighting um, a person who could control the economy, stuff like that,
Yeah.
who had power over the world, basically.
So, our conversation about Black Widow the movie can go on, but we can all agree on one thing for sure. MCU's latest film, Black Widow, is not your typical superhero movie. It portrays females as strong, independent, and dominant, whereas males are portrayed as supporting roles.
In continuation, applying literary analysis is important because it unveils a deeper purpose and understanding of a literary piece or pieces. That movies provoke more emotion than pure entertainment. Applying literary theory allows a reader to connect with the literary piece on a deeper level as well as attain individual value from the literary work. As it requires a certain level of abstraction, it encourages us to think critically and allows us to form our opinion on current issues and relevant topics.
Once again, we are your hosts Gabby, Erica, and Diane, the three woke yolks, signing off for today. Join us again for breakfast. Thank you, and we'll see you again next time.